Obelise. Here's Diana Joy, your host of Impactful Female Entrepreneurs Group. Super excited to be here for the episode number 2 of Expert Series Kick Off Your Online Business with Confidence. And today we will be talking about how to ignite your feminine magnetism with a special guest expert and a girlfriend of mine, Magda Kay. So a little bit of Magda. She is an international coach and Tantra teacher. She helps women tap into the source of their power, their femininity. Working with breath, touch, and movement, she helps women open up more sensuality and pleasure in life, adding excitement into every area of their lives. She believes in doing it the feminine way, not just in intimate relationships, but business as well. I personally know Magda as a great online marketer and female entrepreneur as well. That's why I thought it would be a great idea to have you here, Magda, and your perspective on both of the worlds.
And
Hi, Tam. Hi, Kay. Awesome. So it's great to have you here, my dear. Welcome to our second episode, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I love speaking to you. I'm really happy to be here. And to all the women listening, to all your tribe, it's lovely to meet you, even if it's just online, but I'm super happy for every single woman who's here. Diana, you're doing something incredible. I'm so proud of everything you're doing and of every single woman who's here. Really, really happy to see that.
Thanks so much. That means a lot, really. So before we dive deep into the content of today's episode, so I just want to make sure that I'm not echoing. So I'll just do one thing for a sec. Make sure you watch it. So here's an important announcement to our audience, those who are watching us live or the recording. Make sure you watch us till the very end because there is a absolutely awesome gift I would love to give away today. So now we are ready to go. Magda, why don't you share with us a little bit of who you are and your story and your journey as a woman entrepreneur so everyone can get to know you better?
Sure. Wow. Where to start? Actually, the two of us met pretty much at the pivotal time in my life when I was becoming more and more sure of the fact that I don't want to work for anyone else anymore. I want to do my own thing. So that would be, I think 4 years ago. I don't really remember, but I slowly started transitioning. So I was still working for a company, full-time job, and I started sharing things online. I started with a blog, and then I put some online courses. I started doing coaching. And eventually I got to the point, which I think a lot of women, probably Diana in your group, can relate to this. I got to the point where I became quite sure of my talents and how I want to contribute to the world. And being full-time employed by someone else and building their dream and their vision, I just wasn't of service. I wasn't using my talents. So the pain of knowing that you're meant for something bigger, but not doing this. I mean, I've been through 2 depressions in my lives, and still I would say that pain is the worst because you just have no idea what to do. It's so limiting. And so I decided to take a courageous step of quitting my job and go full-time into what I wanted to do. And I'll tell you, honestly, it's changed many times. And I think that's important to keep in mind, that you don't have to have this 100% clear vision when you're taking the leap. Just looking at what you want right now in life. Where does your passion, curiosity, and heart goes? What is it right now that makes you, that makes you feel alive? And go for that, and just trust that things will, give you more clarity. You'll have more clarity on the way. So that's my story. What happened, And today, exactly, all of my work is exactly what I love doing. So I work mostly with women, like you said, helping women tap back into the essence of who we are, of our feminine energy. We're all goddesses. We just don't always know it. And sometimes we hide this divine nature and this super sexy nature of ours. We're afraid to show it because of all the social conditioning. And God knows that's how I was raised. I was raised to feel that being a woman is weak, it's not good. So in a way, I'm so happy that I can be today in a place to help women really step up into this role and understand that being a woman means being powerful, means being incredible, means being inspiring, and that does not limit you at all in what you can accomplish in life. So wow. I've been following this path for a little bit, and I'm happier than ever.
Wow, I totally can feel that, and I can absolutely relate to your story, Magda, because it is also a lot of one of the biggest part of my journey as well. So let's dive right into our today's topic, since we know you a little bit better. So I chose today's topic to be Ignite Your Feminine Magnetism to attract your ideal audience, because I think you are pretty damn good with what you do online. And even if you're right now a Tantra teacher, and sensuality coach, I'm sure you can, combine both of the worlds and, shine even, brighter. So, okay, I'll do one more thing. I find that this is perhaps, the number one thing that many women in online world struggling, this challenge, to really identifying who is your ideal client. Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Sure. I'll benefit.
So I really think that, this is seen so much as a struggle for way too long. I've seen women, myself is not an exception, taking too long to figure out who exactly we're meant to serve. Many women tend not to niche down their target market, but prefer speaking to everyone. It's a safer option for them, but in fact doesn't work at all. We end up talking to no one, basically. So just give your perspective perhaps on that first.
Yeah, I mean, you're very right. I think when we're starting with our own business, there's a lot of fears. We move from security of steady job into this unknown world of being an entrepreneur. So there are all these fears. Am I going to make enough money? Meaning, am I going to get enough clients? So it feels logical to speak to everyone because you're feeling that this way you're going to get more people. But it is true. It's not personal. Like the price we pay for doing that is that, there's so much information out there these days, and we all know that. But when it comes to our own business, we seem to forget this very simple fact. If you don't stir strong emotions, people will just not hear you, not even listen to you. They will not hear you. So you have to really decide, in my opinion, what do you stand for? Be very concrete in your branding and who you are. And then you will be attracting very concrete people. Make sure that this communication is clear, that you talk to people that can really relate to this. Because absolutely, if you talk to everyone, then they hear, tons of other messages. And I know it's super scary. And I was there myself. I think for the first year or two, I tried talking to everyone. It took me a while to decide that I only want to work with women. And now actually I'm creating a second target, which is men. But again, the men that I work with, they're high net individuals. These are CEOs, men who are very successful in business. So it's an actual niche group. And again, like you're always trying to just talk to a certain group of people. Well, like they say, maybe I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I would rather be someone's shot of tequila.
Exactly.
It's better to evoke strong emotions because maybe, if you look at it like, if you're kind of like general and plain, maybe 100 people will somehow listen to you, but none of them will become your client because you won't touch them enough. But if you're very concrete with your niche, maybe only 3 people will actually listen to you, but 1 or 2 are going to be your clients. So all in all, conversion is going to be higher if you really narrow down. So I'm really happy you're bringing it out, Diana, because it's a big thing. And especially for those who are starting with their business, it's one of the most challenging things I believe to go through. So thank you for bringing it up.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Magda, to sharing your perspective on that. So now let's talk about online world could do to attract those right type of people. So perhaps, what special powers or emotions we can tap into, because you are now more aware of that side as well. So that we are seen as this powerful and confident leaders.
So if I may just make a note, you kind of said it, but I would like to bring it up. I've always been a marketing person. So business, strategy, marketing, that's always been my core. And then a few years ago, I moved into Tantra, yoga, and healing. And one of the things I discovered is that the business world is super masculine. And so most of the books that we read and all of the courses and most of the advice, they come from men. And so a lot of these things, they simply do not work for us. I'm not saying they're bad, but I tried that and I was unhappy. I was burning out and I got depressed. So my advice is maybe a little bit different from what you will find in all those books, but it's because I'm not a man and I'm not giving you a man's advice. I'm giving you advice of a woman who, of course, wants to have a business and be successful and have enough money, but I also want to be in love. I want to have time for myself and time for my girlfriends and travel. So women and men have very different priorities, and I think that's good to just keep that in mind. So for me, if I look at attracting the clients, especially because we're talking about attracting female clients, right?
Right, for sure. For sure.
So us women, we like to connect with other people. Now, men compete. Men like to show who's better, challenge each other. We like to connect and get support from each other. So the emotions we need to feel in order to feel safe to work with someone, with another woman, is I need to feel that she's my sister. We need to create a sisterhood. So, when you look around at women, we very often are jealous of each other and we compete and we backstab each other. It's like we fight over something. And instead of uniting and really coming together, we push other women around. And that's very clear in a lot of marketing strategies of a lot of women online these days. They position themselves in a very masculine way. And also the whole positioning is that I know right and you don't know, so I will teach you how to do it. Now, women are very open to being helped, but not from the perspective that you don't know, I know, so follow me. Instead, women react more if we bring them together. So, for example, what you're doing, and that's one of my strategies as well, it's instead of being pushy in your communication, you created a community. Right now, we are in your tribe. That's your tribe. And I have my tribe as well. We unite women. And maybe this strategy for us women will take a little bit more time because we need to build relationships and connections. But once we do it, it's very easy to get clients. So, and like even for us, we met a few years ago and we became friends. We do some business projects every now and then together, but we are friends. And if I look at my clients, they are my friends. Because I'm building a relationship as if I was to build it with any other woman in my life that I liked. And so when I work with women, they are my friends because we took the time to build the relationship. So for me, anything that you can do, anyone listening, anything you can do to bring women together, exactly, Facebook groups is one of them, different types of memberships or communities to bring women together and to show who you really are. Don't be afraid to show your weaknesses. Because if you present yourself as perfect, women will not be able to connect to you. And most importantly, they need to connect. They need to feel that you understand them. So this idea of trying to position myself as an expert who knows everything, it just doesn't work for women. So in my tribe, for example, I'm very open to learning from my clients. In any coaching client that I have, I always say, like at the end of the session, I always say, thank you so much for teaching and coaching me today, even though in theory I'm the coach. So for me, letting go of this arrogance, that it's more manly than feminine, and really showing who you are, showing your vulnerable sides, showing your struggles so women can relate and they really naturally come to you. Again, I want to make it clear, it may take a bit longer, but that's okay because once you forge these relationships, they're going to stay. These clients are going to be loyal clients. And again, the more you show who you really are, then you're going to have people attracted to you who resonate with who you are. So it's a very gentle tactic to me. That's how I've been building my business. And it's like exponential growth. Once you hit a certain moment, you get more people and it just spreads and you don't have to do anything anymore. It's like word of mouth and the whole magic happens for you.
Great, Magda. I can't really, I cannot agree more. This is really the old programming that is speaking when we try to compete, or be jealous. And when I decided to, to start this group, I really wanted just to concentrate on, supporting, uplifting, connecting, and really forget about the competition, because this word, word is just drives me crazy, honestly. So I decided no more competition, really the art of connection. So I really would like to talk to you about this, about the art of connection. You tap into it. So, what are the best examples of how do you connect? Perhaps you already touched on that, but maybe in the wording, maybe in your copy, how do you connect in the online world?
Sure. So I'll go back to actually my beginnings. So I have a blog called Brave Bell. And at this time, I was going through a very hard time after the breakup. I was in pieces. I was depressed. I had suicidal thoughts. That's also when I got onto the spiritual path, personal growth and healing, like very seriously. And I was doing a lot of work going within. And so, a lot of realizations, a lot of understanding of my core wounds and how, I played a total bitch in the relationship, right? Like, which is not easy to admit. And I had this feeling that the more inwards I went, there was this need of expressing things. And I just freely expressed what's in my heart. So imagine as if you were sharing with your closest friend things that you would tell her. These are the things that I started writing on my blog. And I have articles on this blog that have over 10, 12,000 shares, because they really came from my heart. There was no inner censorship as to what to share and what not to share. I was just vulnerable. I was naked and honest. And anytime I go back into this place, this is when I get the biggest attraction from people. So that means the posts on your fan pages and the emails that you write. And if you blog, also the content on the blog or videos, if you do those. Like, forget about this, like writing articles of, 5 ways, which I've done, by the way, but like 5 ways to use coconut oil. It's awesome, but it's not personal. And do these as well. Like, they have their own reason to exist. But occasionally just write something that has no structure. It's just something that flows, but that's really from your heart. That it feels like you're talking to someone. The more you learn to open up and be vulnerable and exactly say, you know what, today for example, I felt very angry today. And I noticed that I started, being very cold with my boyfriend, even though he didn't really do anything, but I get all these things coming up and I could see that he didn't do anything. I was a total cold bitch with him. So just talk about these things, because what you also realize that we all have that. We all have moments when we, throwing a tantrum and, it's like, no, I'm not going to talk to you. Or like moments when we just judge other people. Moments when I feel I'm better than you. All these shadows that you have, everyone else has them. Don't talk about.
What is happening?
I know, it's like itchy, right?
Yeah. Yes. I think some kind of blocks.
I have that happen in the least appropriate moments. I understand.
Okay, I think I just should laugh or what? Like, I'm crying. I'm so sorry.
So just to sum up, so yes, all of the communication, the content, Facebook, email, your blogging, let it come from your heart. Open up about who you are. So instead of trying to create a persona for your brand, just be yourself. And I know it sounds like but sometimes if it's necessary, sit down and really write down what makes you you, what's crazy about you, what do you love about yourself, and what do you hate about yourself? What are the things you wish no one would ever know about you? And now these are the things that you want to share.
Okay. Awesome, Magda. What about, really allowing to be vulnerable? Because many women see it as a weakness, right? So how do you actually start, sharing that? Because many people or many women that I know think, okay, how can I share something that is so personal or seen as a weakness, you know? So how to start even getting a little bit vulnerable?
Well, in my case, it was a process. I mean, I won't tell you to go right away and do it. It's like the same with videos. I didn't just start doing videos. It was a process for me of doing, practicing, and understanding what is my language and who I really am. Because, you know, when you express, you're actually getting to know yourself better. So for me, when I started with the blog for marketing. It was called Psychology for Marketers. And my person was not visible there at all. All of the articles were written like scientific articles. I was too afraid to show my face. But I needed that first step. And then when I moved to Brave Bell, the articles were very, very personal, but you still didn't actually see me as much. And only slowly after that, I started recording videos. So instead of writing for the business blog that I had, I started having more like life advice. And it was weekly videos. So now people see me. So it was a process, because we have to understand that when we put ourselves out there, yes, you will be attacked. You know, we unfortunately, people don't always support us. There are haters out there, and you're going to say something that's extremely difficult for you, and you're going to get attacked. And so sometimes, you know, it's good to give yourself time to build this muscle and build the resistance. And I always look at it that, you know, like the first negative comments that I got, they were not very bad or strong, but they really hit me. And I was always looking at it, okay, that's just universe giving me the opportunity to build this muscle more and more, so that in the future, when like serious attacks come, when I'm much bigger, I will know how to handle it. And I recently got, you know, like this one guy just was really provoking me. And then out of the blue, he started calling me names and like just weird emotional reaction. He blocked me. I was like, okay, fine. And I wasn't touched by this anymore. I very recently had one of my former best friends, like accuse me that I'm out of integrity with my work. And it's very easy to go to the place of, okay, I'm not going to do it anymore. So instead of throwing yourself at the deep water, because about vulnerability, we shouldn't really be doing this. Take it slow. If you don't feel comfortable sharing so much just yet, don't share it with the whole world. You know, maybe start with the group, a small group. Maybe only do it when you have workshops and when you're in person with, let's say, 10 or 20 women. Or maybe in intensives or in your coaching when you're one-on-one and it's a safer space. Or maybe start exactly writing something when you don't necessarily put your face out there. You know, like you're becoming more personal, but you don't put all of yourself there just yet. You know, it's fine to take the time rather than being burnt in the future. And, you know, about vulnerability, this is one of the biggest challenges for women in general. It's not just business. We don't surrender in relationships with men either, right? We're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid to, you know, be taken over by emotions. So just being aware of that and understanding that actually this vulnerability is a sign of strength. And it's the gift that we as women have to the world and to the men. It's to be vulnerable and surrender and open up. There's actually incredible strength in it. So if you just look at it as, okay, as a woman, that's my natural gift and talent, and just work towards it. Again, it's not about, you know, they say it's the journey that matters more actually than the goal. It's the same here. Anytime you open up a little bit more, you're becoming, you know, more and more confident and being vulnerable. So just take it easy. No need to push yourself. Take the time that you need, but just try, you know, taking those steps forward. Always observe, okay, am I being vulnerable right now? Am I really surrendering, or am I fighting? Am I trying to be in my masculine and push too much? Just bring this awareness, because that will allow you to pause and say, okay, maybe I could just open up a little bit more. That would be my advice for that.
Right, Magda, that's awesome, really. You know what I love is that exactly what I can relate the most is who you really become in the process. You know, you don't have to become this amazing expert in one day or whatever you do, right? So take your time, build your confidence while doing the small steps. So don't compare yourself with, you know, the chapter 20 of someone else while you're in your chapter 1. So take it slow. It's who you become in the process, because as you said, you're building those muscles, right? Otherwise, nobody wants actually this one night successes, really. You know, you don't want that. You don't want to become super successful in a day.
There is an amazing coach. His name is Rich Litvin, and he wrote an article once, and the title of this article was "How to Become an Overnight Success in 20 Years." And like we don't talk about it, but there is no such a thing as overnight success. There's no such a thing as working 2 hours a week and like without actually putting the work first. It's cool to hear those stories, but it's not how it works. And we need to go through the process. And I think it's also beautiful because we have seen each other go through the process of growth, right? When we met, both of us were in a very different place. And this is why we also love each other so much, because, you know, we offer support to one another. And I think that's also beautiful with the groups like yours. It's because everyone who's here, they have, you know, you ladies have support of this group and of Diana and anyone else who's here, right? So it's such a beautiful environment where every single one of you can really be building these muscles, because for a long time, I didn't have the group like that. So for me, building this muscle was rather difficult. I was surrounded by men who were pushing me. And here you have this beautiful community to support you. So don't be afraid of doing that.
Right. You know, I wrote down this question for you, and it's about the art of persuasion. Because when I started to, you know, get to know you, also work with you, this is actually was the first product that I bought from you, the art of persuasion. So can you relate to it still, or it's totally a masculine approach for you right now?
No, I still can. And I mean, I would say my idea of how to persuade people has evolved. But it's still there. It's still like this, the certain tips and the course that you're talking about. It's still there. Like, I don't promote it at all, but it still is there and it sells, because we all want to know how to do it, how to relate to people and, you know, get what we want. But I definitely have discovered that as a woman, I have certain qualities and gifts that I didn't use before, because I felt that it was like a sign of weakness if I would do that. And I look at it very differently right now. So yes, it has evolved. So some of the things I talk about this course, it's certain mental, like how our brain works. Now, of course, men's and women's brain, they're a little bit different, but we are wired in pretty much the same way. So there are a few things that will naturally work better. And I think using them for selling is super powerful. So absolutely do it. But one thing I would probably be most excited to share right now is this special way for women to do that. And let me just say one thing. Someone may get triggered when I say these things. If you do get triggered, I invite you to observe what is your definition of womanhood and what does it mean to you to be a woman? Because again, for me in the past, all these like feminine ways of persuading, I was really looking down at them because I felt that if I do that, it means I'm not smart enough. So if any of this is coming up, it's just a beautiful invitation to, okay, see what does it mean for me to be a woman? So first thing that's, I think, you know, to acknowledge and be okay with is that we are beautiful. Women are created naturally beautiful. You know, if you compare the masculine and the feminine, women are delicate. We are soft, right? We have very different features. We have long hair. And I am a big promoter of jewelry, of dresses, of makeup, not because the society tells you to do it, but because I look at every single woman as a goddess, as a divine manifestation. So just like when you go to a temple and you adorn the statues of goddesses, right, with cloths and gold and flowers and incense, I do the same for myself, and I invite every woman to the same for her. So just understanding that when we are very in our feminine presence, we radiate the feminine energy. And this energy is extremely, extremely alluring and inviting. Now, it's specifically strong for men. Men, in fact, they need the feminine presence. They feel a bit lost. Like, you know how they always say that behind a great man, there's always a woman. Because men naturally need the support of the feminine energy. So it's actually much easier with men. But for women also, because we feed off each other energy. When I am around women who are strongly in their feminine and who radiate this light, I want to be with them. Like, I feel like I'm getting something from them. So to me, being the kind of, like, exactly, what does it mean for you to be a woman? And then be that kind of a woman, be inspiration and aspiration for other people. Because this way people will follow you. Because men will want to be in your presence and the women will want to be more like you. And, you know, we both have our coaches and people we look up to. And a lot of it is exactly this. You look at someone and you say, wow, this woman has these amazing qualities, these traits. I want that as well. And so I am naturally being pulled. So for me, that's like the most important part, because that kind of overlaps everything we do. And it overlaps how we live our life on a daily basis. And then, of course, you know, especially when we do the selling and when we write the copy, then, you know, there are certain tools that you want to look into. I think I would say for everyone, and women as well, you know, do a bit of training in selling and copywriting and persuasion and influence is definitely needed. Don't be afraid to sell, you know, like know your power, know your strength. And that would be for me the second important thing, that this assumption that as a woman I'm weak. It's not true. Just step into more of a yang energy in you. Believe that what you have to offer is good. Too often women, we doubt ourselves. If you don't believe that what you have to offer actually is good and makes a difference, you will not persuade anyone. First of all, you need to be able to persuade yourself that what you do is of value, which is also a good process to refine your offer, to make sure you're in integrity with everything that you do. And, you know, without going into details, I mean, I'll be happy to share my product as well, but books like How to Win Friends and Influence Others, Carnegie, that's an amazing book, as well as Influence by Cialdini. These are the first two things that come to my mind, but there's a lot of things, you know, that can be studied, and also a lot of books on selling, like I believe it's called Spin Selling. There are a few books. I will have to probably share with you the names later because I don't remember them now. But absolutely train yourself. Dear women, study. If there is a specific area where you don't feel very confident, read and study. It's just knowing certain phrases to say, how to write something. But again, if you really show this incredible energy and enthusiasm, people will be naturally drawn to you. So you will notice that you don't need as many marketing strategies the moment you really step into your energy and you shine your true light. You won't let anyone dim you, but you really shine your true light. And then suddenly marketing and selling almost becomes obsolete. And I say it from my experience, really. Really, the more I am myself, the less marketing I do.
Beautiful, Magda. I love that. Honestly, like, this is the evolution. This is exactly what I believe in myself, and you are just an great example of that as well. You know, the energy, you know, it's all about energy. The money is energy. We are the energy. So we attract likewise. So just be who you are and you will attract the people who are naturally drawn to you, right? Like, don't need to pretend anyone or copy anyone, right? Pretend to be someone you're not, right? So this is absolutely amazing. Right now, I'd like to ask you, like, just share a little bit, like, where you are. Like, we are slowly going to, to wrap it up, our second episode. So just share with us your current project and, what inspires you right now, where you are, what you do.
Sure. I'm gonna just say one more thing that came to me when you were sharing from your side about being really yourself. I had this big realization, and so to all the women listening, whatever you do, there's already hundreds of people doing the exact same thing. Okay, this is not unique. This is not original. Okay, that exists. None of us has something to offer that no one else offers in this world. But you can do it in the authentic way to you. So you're not the only coach out there. Like, I'm not the only Tantra teacher out there, right? But how do you do coaching? How do you teach yoga or do anything else that you do? That's what people will relate to. So exactly, don't focus so much about what you do, but how you do it. Just let it come from you. So I just really wanted to add it because I know a lot of people struggle like, oh, but do I have anything to offer? There are other people who do it. Yes, they are. There always are. But you are you. And this is why it's so exactly important to be yourself. So now, to answer your question for me, what was the question again, Diana?
Sure. So what inspires you right now and what projects you are currently working on?
Okay. I'm in an interesting phase in my life because I live in Thailand and I study a lot of Tantra. And I'm also exploring sexual Tantra and, open relationships. So topics that to me 3 years ago, I was like, no way, never, ever, exactly. And so I'm also realizing, a very interesting thing that when we go into our sexuality and we start working with sexuality, this is where we really discover our limitations and our blockages. Like sex and money, these are the two most delicate topics, but if you dive deep into any of the two, you're going to discover incredible things about yourself. And this is also what offers profound healing and changes. So that's where I am right now. And I'm being triggered in so many different ways, but it's also such a beautiful process that I'm experiencing. And so I'm also moving more in my own work towards that direction, helping people, really create beautiful relationships. And especially, I do talk so much about sexuality these days, which again, like a year ago, I would never even say out loud, being online. But I'm realizing how important it is because one of the things, especially for women, this idea of being comfortable with physical pleasure, of admitting that I like it, also knowing how to say no, having your own boundaries, right? And how to say yes. In a way, when we heal a lot of this around sexuality, automatically that spins into every area of your life. So these days, I find it easier to say yes and no in my business, even though that's not where I'm doing my work anymore. Mm-hmm. And so through that, I'm inspired to offer a place for women to have these taboo conversations, where they get to open up and ask questions that normally they would feel too shy to ask. And also for that reason, I started working with men. So it's something I mentioned at the beginning. It's quite interesting. When I really focused on women and sensuality, intimacy, and passion, I started having men come to me and ask for advice. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And I started working with men, either online coaching or private sessions. We're preparing a retreat for men in Malaysia. And, I think it's incredible because I really believe that if we want to step up, if women want to step up, and if we want to be treated like true goddesses, then we also need to lift our men up. If we keep bringing men down and treating them like incapable boys, they will not know how to worship us. If we want them to worship us because we believe we are worth that, we need to worship them as well and support them in their growth as well. So I'm now playing with these both areas.
Amazing, Magda. Kent, this is so important. This is so amazing. I'm sure you are like in this journey. It's super exciting. Great stories. Great things happening, right? So thank you so much for today's input. It was a pleasure as always. I really enjoyed it. So just want to give a small announcement to our viewers, and as I promised, thanks for watching. There is a gift for you. Now it's time to announce it, a giveaway. You can participate in winning a free business strategy session. So just comment below your takeaways. What was the most amazing realization for you? So just be active, comment, and you will be able to win a session with me, a free business strategy session with me. Okay, I will be providing the link. And Magda, as I asked you, could you share as well, I can also post a link, in the comments, what can we read, where can we go to read more about you? What would you like to share?
Well, if anyone wants to know more what I do and check anything, you can find me on Facebook, Magda Kay. You can also go to my website, www.magdakay.com. And subscribe to the newsletter. I share a lot, but I share also my blog posts and like my intimate sharing is there as well. All of the offers that I do. So you can even just sign up to see when we're talking about being open and vulnerable, what it means. You can just check my Facebook and my newsletter to know exactly how I do it. So even just, you know, as an observation for your own business to understand how people normally do it. So definitely these two places, I think they will be probably the best for you to follow what I do. And then over there, I post all of the things. Anytime I do a workshop or I open coaching programs or anything also from men as well. If any of the ladies here is ready for their men to step up, send them my way. So all of this you will be able to find either through my newsletter or my fan page. And I guess, Diana, feel free to tag me and connect also women directly to me. We're friends on Facebook. So, you know, feel free to contact me directly on Facebook as well. I love talking to everyone.
Will do, Magda. Thanks again for the great talk. Again, I really enjoyed it. So thanks for watching. Next week, I'll be coming back and we'll be talking about relationships, okay? With the relationship expert, Haley Pepper from Australia on mastering your relationships to help you grow your business. So for now, take care of yourself and have a beautiful day. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Mwah.